Welcome back to the channel. So today is December 7th, 2022. It's around 9 o'clock. Honestly, I spent some time just messing around with my setup, messing around with the audio, video, seeing what turns out to be the best quality. I actually meant to record a vlog last night, but the phone that I was recording on died or cut out the video like 4 minutes into a 25-minute vlog. So I kind of just called it quits for the night, and here I am filming today. So wish me luck. Hopefully this setup is a little bit better. But anyways, what do I want to talk about today? Today, I want to talk about envy and talk about why it's probably one of the more harmful things or traits or characteristics that a person can have. See, the problem with being envious is that it's an emotion, right? And it exists for biological reasons, and it has both its pros and its cons. So one of the things that makes envy stand out in terms of its cons is that people tend to be envious of things that are immutable. So what do I mean when I say immutable? Things like the color of your skin, the family background, your social economic background, where you were born, how tall you are, etc. And when I talk about the pros for being envious of things that are mutable, for example, how strong you are, how hard you work, your level of financial success, and there are many other things things that are in your control, things that you can change. And so oftentimes the bulk of people's envy comes from the immutable characteristics. The rich kid down the block, the kid that was born into a better family, went on constant vacations, the kid that you feel, or the person you feel has a better upbringing or better luck than you. When it comes to things that they can't change or that you can't change. For example, height is another example. But there's so many different examples. But the problem with that mindset is that, again, those are things you can't change. But the problem is people get stuck in that emotion, and it's a rudder that kind of prevents you from using that time, that energy, that effort in hating that person or being envious of that person or that situation or their characteristics or trait or something that they had no control over, that you could be using that energy to changing the things that you are envious about but are mutable, things that can change, your financial success, the people you have in life, the clothes that you wear, etc. Whether they be capitalistic or not. What they say about envy is that it's actually the driver for capitalism, right? However you feel about capitalism, right? The economy is an envy economy, right? I want the better car, I want the better girl, I want the bigger house, faster phone, etc., etc., etc. The newest device, the trendiest shoes, all that stuff. That stuff drives the economy, pushes us to seek our potential, whatever that may be, And so being envious is not always a con, but being conscious and being mindful of why and when we're envious, right? Because oftentimes it's okay to be envious, but knowing to be envious for the right things and for the right amount of time, that's really hard. And what's important with, I guess, this vlog and why I'm talking about it is that so that either I become more mindful, you become more mindful of, hey, when I have those emotions, being self-reflective and understanding, why do I feel that way? Is it something that's in my control? Is it a mutable characteristic, or is it something that is mutable, something that can change? And if it's not, let's not waste any energy on it. Anyways, I want to transition to a different topic just because I had that thought, I think, earlier on in the week. And like I said, I did record this video yesterday, and it kind of got lost in the technical difficulties. It's funny, like me being a software engineer and running into these issues. But anyways, working on these goals and referring back to like my earlier vlog about, the goals and the framework for how I have my goals set, right? My health, my wealth, social cohesion, and intimate love, right? And so making sure that I achieve something in one of those four categories the first one being the highest significance, health, and then descending all the way down to intimate love. You can't have intimate love without the first three being in a stable state, right? So, I've been feeling kind of stuck in my career, and don't get me wrong, for my age, for the level of experience I have, I'm actually doing pretty well. But like we talked about earlier, envy is a big driver, emotion, like just that ambition. I've always had it, I always will. I'm definitely not the kind of person that will make a ton of money and just sit on a beach and drink Mai Tais. It's not me. I'm not that guy. But I enjoy the chase, I enjoy the journey, and I enjoy seeing the results. And don't get me wrong, like I definitely enjoy the journey, but I also enjoy the rewards. It's for me, honestly, it's just a big game. So I could go on a rant on that for forever, but let's talk about what I'm working on in terms of my wealth side. So since I've been feeling kind of stuck where I am, especially in my career at this moment, I've been trying to prep myself for interviews, technical interviews, because I feel like there are other opportunities out there in terms of bigger companies with harder problems to solve, and more importantly, bigger pay, and getting around people in person, because I have a remote tech job, honestly. And for most people, that sounds like heaven, but I've always been a very extroverted, technical problem solver. I love being around people. I love talking to people, and I'm definitely the kind of guy that can do that, but also like focus and just be like heads down, like almost autistic in the sense that I ignore anything to solve a problem. I just become super laser focused. So maybe that's the ENTJ in me, but let's not get into Myers-Briggs right now. But yeah, so I've been trying to be consistent in terms of what I call engineering workouts, which is every morning working on or studying for interview prep, even if I'm not in the market for looking for a new job. I just feel like with the recent tech layoffs, it's super important to keep my technical interviewing skills up to par. And, who knows, maybe another opportunity comes up. And it's always better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. I think it was Winston Churchill that said that, and I love that line, and so I'm trying to keep that in line. And I know that I could potentially make a lot more money in a different place, solve more interesting problems, or maybe potentially join a startup, but we'll see what the future holds. I just want to keep consistent in terms of my interview prep and make it almost like my workouts, where right now at the moment I'm training 6 days a week, whether it's a mix of weight training mostly and cardio days. And so I want engineering and problem solving to also be part of my routine, especially now that I've been out of school for a little bit. I don't even want to say a little bit, it's actually been a while. So just keeping my mind sharp, keeping my skills sharp, even though that I'm not in person or I'm not actively looking for a new job, I need to be able to solve these problems and think rationally and have frameworks to attack the problems. It's only going to help me with work, and it's something that I should keep up with. I feel like even though I have my job, I feel like I have to earn the right every morning. And same thing with my body, right? I have to pay my dues in order to keep the body that I have, and I also have to pay my dues to keep the engineering job I have, because only the paranoid really survive. And if you're not constantly keeping your skills up to date, not just in software engineering or the tech career space, but any knowledge work or white collar jobs, you have to constantly be educating yourself. It's a never ending treadmill. And like I said earlier, like I'm not the guy for Mai Tai, so that's why I enjoy that. Like I enjoy being on that treadmill. I enjoy the chase. I enjoy the thrill of discovering something new, making a ton of money for the company, and just winning. Like I enjoy that. I love that rush. Like there's nothing that can beat that. And so I'm happy with what's going on there. And then, when it comes to social cohesion, I this past weekend I went out to SantaCon in a local city, and also went to a friend's ugly sweater party that I've known her since college. It's actually been quite a while since we've been I think almost 8 years now. Shout out to Krista. and Marissa and the whole gang. And so I went out there for a little bit. Was out there for maybe an hour or two, and then I drove back an hour back to my city to go out again for the SantaCon, which, you know, honestly, like, I just tried to move myself outside of my apartment, because since I work from home, it's like so easy to be stuck in a routine and see the same four walls like 40, 60 hours a week. And it's super important to like kind of unplug and recharge by interacting with other people, seeing what other people's problems are, or just like kind of disconnecting so that I can come back refreshed. You know, whether it's Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning after I'm done with some cleaning and chores that I have around the apartment, or just running errands out and about. So, yeah, I mean, it's honestly like a balance, and one of the things that I feel like will help me achieve like all the things that I have planned and all those different categories of goals I have is, again, this YouTube channel, like the vlog, just keeping myself accountable to my goals and kind of recording the journey. And I hope that in the future, like my future me comes back and sees this and kind of laughs. Maybe I changed my mind on some of these things. I'm sure that's going to be the case, you know, if I stay the same. Hopefully it's for good reason. And, you know, like I've always said, like when it comes to mindset, ideas, and just the way philosophies that I have in life, I look at them as tools, right? If the tools are working and getting me the results that I want, I'm going to continue using them. And if they don't, I'll just get new ones, replace them, find new ways to get to where I need to go. And I guess maybe that's always been the engineering or problem solving mindset that I've always had. I've always really liked solving problems. I've always felt, I don't know, good. I don't know, maybe it's the weird social conditioning that kind of was built into me because of, like, as weird as it is, like playing like Xbox 360 and the whole achievement system, or the PlayStation 3 with the trophy system. I was kind of like almost like classically conditioned like a damn lab rat to enjoy achieving things. But I think even before then, even before they were achievements, I love the idea of beating a game, right? And that rush of like winning or like completing something. I've always been hyper competitive. I think a little bit more competitive, honestly, than some of my siblings. But, you know, it's just something that I enjoy. And it's honestly funny because, you know, back to my social cohesion, like trying to reconnect with some family that I've kind of like just life and circumstance kind of separated us for a long time, and just reconnecting with them, or not even reconnecting with some of them, but just connecting with them for the first time, and just realizing how much alike we are, like, even though like we grew up separately, right? Like the idea of nature versus nurture, right? People just tend to like blow off like how much genetics actually plays a role in your personality type, and not just the environment you grew up in, which I think honestly, like sometimes I even forget like how much of a role, you know, genetics does play a role. And it's so funny just seeing it and just laughing internally. And I'm just happy I have the opportunity, honestly, to build these relationships, reconnect with old family members, and yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm lucky to say that I can. And yeah, it's definitely things that I guess there have been years, so many years lost to being disconnected. Maybe I'll get more into it in future vlogs, but yeah, it's nice to kind of reconnect. And again, that's probably part of my social cohesion, because I feel like if I can't fix what kind of, like, I guess childhood traumas or things that I feel like are not right in terms of my connectedness, like I can never have a stable, intimate relationship, love, whatever you want to call it. And so working on that, you know, and I'm not the kind of guy that has to wait till to create a New Year's resolution to get that done. If I can get it done, I'm going to try to get it done today. And I'm going to start now. Like if it's due today, if I set it today, due today. Like I got to at least one baby step to like get that ball rolling. And it's, again, a snowball effect. You know, I just got to do one thing in that direction. And kind of just looking back at my day and saying, hey, have I tried to do one, have I done something to achieve one of my major goals in those categories? Most importantly, health. And I consistently try to go to the gym, eat right. Although I'm not going to say that I'm perfect. I definitely do go out. Sometimes I stay up later than I should, sleep in a little bit more than I should, and that kind of affects my health. And then, when it comes to wealth, for the last couple of years, I've been saying that I gotta do daily interview questions, and I was doing it for a while, like maybe 3-4 years ago, but I stopped, man. And it's just like working out. Once you lose that momentum, it's so hard to get back on that. And so I've honestly started to get back into it, and I want to hold myself accountable just like I do with the gym. I can do this. I know if I can do this, I can be consistent in the gym. If I can be consistent with my language learning and constantly push myself, I can get whatever I need in terms of career success. And then social cohesion, focusing on developing valuable friendships. I think, that takes time. And I'm definitely working on that. And maybe I'll give some updates in a future vlog. I just don't want this vlog to get too long. But I just want to give some updates on that. And yeah, I've had some major conversations in terms of kind of repairing or fixing some things that I felt like were not right in my childhood. And maybe I'll get into it in my next vlog. I don't want to reveal anything too major until I actually do the act this coming Christmas. And again, it's December 7th, actually the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Rest in peace to our veterans and all those that have fallen during World War II. I'm a big history buff. And so, yeah, I don't think I want to make this video any longer than it already is, but yeah, these are just like some ramblings, some thoughts that I've had. And yeah, tomorrow I'm going on a little adventure to the city to go see an exhibit, the Titanic exhibit. Like I said, I'm a history buff, so I'm going with some friends, and maybe I'll include that in the vlog, maybe I won't, we'll see. For right now, you got me in the little box that I'm trapped in most of my time, most of my waking hours during the week. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, thoughts, feelings you want to share about, anything that I talked about today, like envy, goal setting, life in general, like what the hell is social cohesion? I think maybe I covered it enough in one of the previous vlogs, either 1 or 2. Again, this is only the 3rd one, but definitely going to try to stay consistent. I'm not really too sure about the schedule yet. Maybe I talked about it in the last vlog. I'm going to try to do twice a week. Although this is kind of trying to be unscripted because it is a vlog. You don't really want to script a vlog. You just want to, hit the record button and just start going. And yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.